Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolve. Now, earlier this week we talked about Mega Meowstic, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Exploud. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation of what this series is about. Now, every week we'll be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your opinions in the comment section down below about what would you keep, what would you change, and etc. And at the end of every video, we'll be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Exploud. Now, if you guys watched until the end of my previous Why Mega Evolve video with Meowstic, I told you guys that I actually had a list of Pokemon from 3rd Gen that I would like to see a Mega Evolution for, and the list was a top 5, and Exploud was one of the Pokemon on that list that I was hoping that we were going to be getting a Mega Evolution for with the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But sadly enough, we didn't get one. I mean, to be completely honest, I think Exploud is, I wouldn't say in dire need of a Mega Evolution, but it would help it out in the long run, considering that in sense it doesn't really have all that natural bulk behind it, but its HP is really high at base 104, maxing out at 412, and I would like to see this thing get a Mega Evolution to help its stats, because that's pretty much the only thing that Exploud needs help with, is just its stats, and that's completely it. Its ability is fine, its typing is fine, its move pool is fine. So like literally, like I said, like some Megas, like they don't really need an overhaul, but some of them do. And when it comes to Exploud doesn't need an overhaul on anything really. It just needs a Mega Evolution to increase its stats, and that's pretty much it, to be completely honest. So as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, I did increase everything because honestly everything needed to get increased. So for its physical attack and special attack, I increased them both the same from base 91 to base 121. Now, we already know when we use an Exploud, most of the time people just run or choice specs, modest nature, max out the special attack, and pretty much just spam Boom Burst, because Boom Burst is literally like what Exploud is known for, because that's literally the only move he actually ever goes for, considering that it's base 140 base power, and this thing just does a fuck ton of damage. I guarantee you, if you slap a choice specs and max out its special attack with like a special attack increasing nature like modest with Boom Burst, oh god, this thing is going to be doing literally half damage to literally almost any Pokemon this thing comes across. So like I said, most of the time people run choice specs with Boom Burst, but I feel like with 121 special attack, Boom Burst is going to be doing a fuck ton either way. And plus, this thing does get access to a variety of moves as well that Exploud does run, like Surf, Fire Blast, Focus Blast, Overheat. Like, it does get access to a very good variety of moves, because if you guys watch some of my previous Why Mega Evolve videos, when it comes to the normal type Pokemon, like Snorlax for an example, like normal type pretty much gets a very spread of a move pool, considering that they can pretty much learn multiple typings of moves, like ice type moves like Ice Beam, electric type moves like Thunderbolt, and fire type moves like Fire Blast, and so on and so forth. And Exploud is no exception, because it does get access to like Ice Beam, like I said, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, Solar Beam. Like, it does have a very good special move pool where you can actually run in this thing. And for its physical attack as well, it is literally no exception, because this thing does get access to a very good variety of move pool for its physical attacks as well. This thing gets access to the Elemental Fangs, Ice Fang, Fire Fang, and Thunder Fang, while also, if I'm not mistaken, this thing does get access to Earthquake. It does as well. Giga Impact for pretty much its stab, because it's still going to be normal type. Rock Slide, which is very good. Circle Throw, which I believe is a very weird move to have on this thing. Let's see, it does get access to Elemental Punches. It does get access to Outrage, Low Kick, Zen Headbutt. Once again, and you guys already know what I'm going to say, it, like I said, it does have a good variety of move pool to where this thing can actually be very viable in competitive play. Now, the one thing that I kind of wish this thing got access to, and oh wow, it actually does, it gets access to Double Edge. So you can run Double Edge on Exploud for like its main like offensive physical type, normal type move. If you don't want to run like Return, Frustration, and even the more I wouldn't say deadly, but the most risky move, Giga Impact, because you do have to recharge for 1 turn. So once again, like I said, it does get access to an amazing move pool for both physical and special. So I believe with a base 121 in both of its attacking stats, I feel like this thing is just going to be an outstanding Mega. Now for its physical defense and special defense, I increased its physical defense from base 63 to base 82, and its special defense from base 73 to base 81. Now at first, when I made the Mega Exploud like base stats, the only thing I increased was its physical, or both of its attacks and its speed, and that was completely it, because its defenses are kind of piss poor, but in sense it does have somewhat of a natural bulk behind it with its high ass HP, like I said, maxing out at 412. So this thing can live hits, but I would like this thing to actually have a lot more better defensive stats, so I had to increase them as well, because I don't want to really neglect it, because every time when I try to record this I always come back to its defenses. I'm like, why didn't I increase it? So I actually went back, redid the whole thing, and actually edited its defensive stats. So once again, I did increase them to base 82, and also the base 81, because to be completely honest, like I said, when it comes to Pokemon's base stats, if it's at least base 80 and above, I think it's really good. And I actually have Mega Exploud's defenses at base 82 and base 81 for both physical defense and special defense, so I can actually see this thing being a lot more, I wouldn't say more bulky, but at the same time it will be more bulky, if that makes sense. So it's not all in vain, but I also want to increase its physical defense a little bit higher, just because it is a normal type, and when it comes to normal type's weaknesses, it is fighting, and most of the time you see physical fighting type moves like close combat and all that. I mean, you rarely see like Focus Blast and Vacuum Wave coming out from Pokemon, other than like coverage moves and stuff like that. So I wanted to increase its physical defense just a little bit higher than special defense, but once again, it's still going to be having, I would say, a little bit more bulk behind it. So for its speed, I increased it from base 68 to base 81. Now this is where I was telling you guys where I actually only increased its attacking stats and also its speed. At first, I actually had its speed at base 108, considering that every time when I see Exploud in the anime, this thing is always running fast as fuck. This thing is just very, very speedy, so that's where it came in mind, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna max or have its Mega speed stat being at like over a base 100, but I was like, you know what, I have to go back and increase its defenses, so that's what I've done, and I've only increased its speed just a little bit to base 81. Now the reason why I've done that was because Mega Gyarados has a base stat of 81, so does Milotic. I mean, base 80, like I said, and above stats are actually pretty decent, and with Exploud's speed stat being a base 81, this thing is going to be very, very viable, and I can actually see this thing being very, very threatening in the tier that's in right now. It could probably get bumped up to UU at most, I would say, because OU, I don't think it's going to be able to like, I wouldn't say be like not viable, but it won't be as viable if this thing was in UU, because I feel like UU is the better tier for it. So once again, I can actually see this thing getting bumped up a few tiers, and UU, in my opinion, and also from the best of my knowledge, is a great tier for a Mega Exploud. Now for a regular Exploud, its base stats at 490, and with the Mega Evolution, it's going to be at 590. Now for its ability, I actually decided to keep one of its abilities, Scrappy, because Scrappy, in my opinion, is one of the best abilities for normal type Pokemon, considering that the only thing that it can't hit is Ghost types, and with the ability Scrappy, it allows normal type Pokemon to actually hit Ghost type Pokemon with normal type moves. So for instance, if you guys know about Mega Lopunny, I mean pretty much everyone should know, its ability is Scrappy as well, and you can use like High Jump Kick, Return on Ghost type Pokemon like Dusclops, Gengar, Trevenant, like those types of Pokemon, and I feel like Scrappy is a very good ability for this thing, considering that with this thing getting access to like Boom Burst and Double Edge and all that, I can actually see this thing being a very, very threatening Pokemon. And I don't know what Pokemon are in UU, but I know in OU Gengar's is pretty much the best, like the only Ghost type Pokemon I can remember off the top of my head in that respective tier. But once again, Like, I feel like Scrappy is the better ability. Plus, with this thing being part normal, or being normal in general, its normal type moves are going to get a boost because of stab, and this thing, like I said, is just going to be doing a fuck ton of damage to your opponent. Literally, probably doing over half, maybe even OHKOing it to the point where this thing is just going to be obliterating everything. So, once again, I feel like Scrappy is the better ability for a Pokemon like Exploud. And for its typing, I decided to leave it alone as normal. There really is no reason for me to actually increase its, or not increase, to actually add on another typing, nor like get rid of like normal, if that makes sense. Considering, like I said, normal is like the best typing for it, and that's pretty much it. Even though it does get access to a variety of like moves, I don't feel like adding on another typing would actually help it out in the long run. But once again, like I said, I'm just gonna leave it alone as normal. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now, the next Pokemon we are going to be talking about is a Pokemon from first gen that I honestly think gets overlooked a lot, and that Pokemon is Seaking. So, I actually am very excited to talk about that Pokemon because it's literally one of the most forgotten Pokemon from first gen. I mean, everyone knows Golding, but like everyone forgets about Seaking. But I'll get more into detail once you guys watch that video. But once again, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to comment and subscribe. So this is White Boy for the win, and I'll catch you guys later.